Forgive me in advance. I'm going to show you a lot of screen grabs in this video, and it's going to be a longer than normal video, but it's a conversation that I feel needs to happen because apparently nobody reads anything anymore. And I'm not talking about sits down on the deck and cracks open a book reading. I'm talking about reading anything at all. Nobody reads anything, and it is mind-numbing to me. Case in point. This article appeared in one of the local Facebook pages. Electric vehicle charging stations coming to Minooka. Minooka, this town here, Minooka, is the next town over. It's Minooka, and there's my town, Shanahan. And we share a bunch of things. Our kids go to their high school. They use our park district, all kinds of shit. Think of it as one big town. Combined, the two towns have about 25,000 people. Here in Shanahan, we have about 13.5 of those 25,000. Anyway, Minooka, the next town over, is getting electric vehicle charging stations. Okay? Now, if you click on the link and you read the article, there's written words to the article, and then there's actual audio of what you're reading. And it clearly states, now you can see here, all the way up at the top, you see the button. You can play the audio or you can read the text of the interview. And you can see here, forgive me, I'm blind, I gotta take my glasses off. It says here, so we actually pulled the government, the agreement out 2 months ago, had to work on the actual language for the agreement, but Ensol Energy will be the company that we'll be partnering with. They'll be installing the EV stations on their dime, and we simply just tag along with the cooperative license agreement, basically. And then it says here, each charging station is less than $20,000. But the company, Ensol Energy, is going to eat the cost to put these charging stations in. Now, why? Well, because Ensol Energy can then charge a service charge to be able to use the electricity, to be able to use the service to charge a vehicle. So when you go to charge a vehicle there, you pay for the electricity and the service charge, right? So they're going to make money long term off of having these charging stations in Minooka. It is my understanding through conversations with people in Minooka is that not only is Minooka not on the hook for any taxpayer funding, but they also get a portion of the profits to help maintain the facilities. Awesome. We don't have charging facilities in town. These will be the first two. Great, fantastic, more options. But Minooka is a very small, very red town that hates progress. Please try and keep up with these screen grabs, and I apologize for the number of them in advance. Veronica says, why? I say, to charge electric vehicles, obviously, right? No kidding. Unnecessary. Why is it unnecessary? Do people in Minooka and Shanahan not drive electric vehicles? Then you see Glenn Head come in. If they do and live here, they can go home and charge them for free. You think electricity at your home is free? That'll be your little secret, I replied. Glenn said, who said that? You just like to argue. Move on. So I pointed out that he literally just said that you can go home and charge them for free. And he goes, and then Dina comes in and goes, good Lord, do you people have to take everything so literally? Well, how am I supposed to take that? He's telling people they can go home and charge for free. He comes back with free as in instead of paying at a charging station. I understand it's not free. Well, then don't fucking say it is. Then Carlos says, if someone is willing to pay for a charge away from home, why does that matter to people who don't use EVs? Glenn, I don't care what they do with their money, just seems senseless when you can charge at home. Then Veronica replies to me again, how many and what's the cost of the charging stations? Because she didn't read the article. Moving on, for the woman who said why, Rabber Kurt said for the 8 people in town who drive electric vehicles. Keep in mind, one of the fucking trustees in that town driving. But anyway, I reply to him, it's more than 9, but even if it was, do those 8 people don't get to have options? Vanessa says, they bought them. Shouldn't they have their own charging stations at their home? To which I reply, do you have your own gas station at your house for your gas-powered vehicles? And then Susan Bell comes in. No, but her point is, gas stations are corporations and not bought by taxpayer money. And I explain that neither is this, and I post a screen grab of the article explaining that to her. She comes back with, there is still going to be village money used. It will not be solely on the company's dime. It may be their $20,000 to install, but all future maintenance will be village costs. Elaborate. What costs will the village incur? Moving on, I reply to Veronica again here. The article says that when she said, how much do these cost? The article says the cost of each station is $20,000, and the company is paying for them. Sorry for my mistype. Paying for them, so Manuka gets 2 charging stations free of charge. Veronica comes back with, didn't know that, free is good. Wayne says there is no such thing as a free lunch. The company will get their investment back 100 times, or they would never do this. Right, they're not doing it to not make money, but that doesn't mean it's on the taxpayer dollar. Who's arguing now? Continued my conversation with Veronica here. You can see that real quick. Moving on, Valerie says it's ridiculous. Tommy says, moved here because I wanted to be in a small town. Now we are getting a data center, intermodal, solar farm. Time to move to a smaller town. So you can tell I just said bye. Then we move on to one of the truly idiotic local trolls. You see him here at the bottom, Eric McKnight, who says it's a waste of money. So I say, so you didn't read the article. Got it. What is his response? So smart. Smart would be to actually read the article, but that appears to be too much for you. And then I told him it was a solid retort. Shows why you couldn't grasp the words in the article. To which Glenn Head comes back in and says, he just likes to argue and he is never wrong. So I told him, what am I wrong about in this instance? I'll wait. You can tell I never got an answer. Then we have Johnny. So put in even more stress on an underpowered electrical grid? Genius. Not. Yeah, but you guys just voted in a village trustee who pushed for a data center to go in. So miss me with this bullshit. Then we have Peggy. How long are people really staying in downtown Manuka that they'll need to charge their EV? Do the batteries drain that quickly? I don't drive my car around on E. Maybe they should be more prepared. So I reply with, you're right. In fact, we should remove many of the gas stations too, since, as you stated, people should be more prepared, right? Are gas stations built with taxpayer money? Also, I get gas and then proceed to my destination. I don't expect a gas pump outside of the restaurant where I'm going to eat. So I explained to her, these are being built with no taxpayer money. If you bothered to read the article, you would have read that the company installing these stations are paying for them, not the taxpayers. Maybe read past the headline next time. And then Rudy Martin Jr. here recognizes that nobody takes time to read the article. To which I agree with him, and then we have some other conversations. And then Peggy Duff here says, I'll be honest, I stopped reading at Manuka, which is how it translated in the article, and it's a misspelling of the town. So I say that she chose to be ignorant, and I must not have taken a screen grab of that. And then you see Cynthia asking what's up with all the whiny people. Talk to her. And then we have Wayne. Usual waste of taxpayer money. I explained it to him. Then we have Jake. There was always a catch. Manuka should have learned this. Oh, well. This is one of the village trustees who comes in to do some explanation. Brian Kerr, more wasted money. Are there that many electric vehicles in Manuka? Says Sam Greco, who's a trustee in my town. You get the idea. This video is already over 8.5 minutes. Read past the fucking headline, man. Read past the fucking headline. Everybody jumps into these fucking posts on social media. They all react from the headline. They all think they know what the fuck they're talking about, and none of them do. Here's the bottom line. The village of Manuka is getting 2 electric charging stations free of charge, and they're going to make money off of it, which means the people in the village of Manuka now have more options if they want to buy an electric vehicle or a plug-in hybrid vehicle instead of just a gasoline or diesel power vehicle. You have more options, more places to exercise said options, and it costs you nothing, and your village is making money off of it. People go, Tom, why don't you ever run for village board or school board or this board or that board? Because of fucking idiots like this. Because fucking idiots like this refuse to read past the headline, think they know what the fuck they're talking about, and then react like the idiots that they are.